Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and all between the binary. This is Get Informed with Wajeeh. I'm Wajeeh Lion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is my birthday. I appreciate all your birthday wishes. I appreciate you tuning in. You guys have made my day special already. Before we get into any deep topics, let me just say again, keep an open mind. Listen to people that you disagree with. Listen to people that you don't respect. Listen to people who you respect to. That is the only way you are going to get out of your comfort zone and understand what the other side is saying. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to agree with their principles. You don't have to even support what they're saying. But by you sitting down and having an open ear, you allow yourself an opportunity to expand your knowledge, whether it's understanding what the other side is wanting, or you hear another argument that you can think about later on and think of an answer for. But just because you disagree with someone on a principle or two shouldn't be the reason you delete them from the vocabulary book. The reason that we have differences, the reason that we fight with each other. By the way, you don't make peace with your friends. You solve your problems with your friends, but you make peace with your enemy, and that's your enemy. For I'm not asking anyone to hate Malcolm. I'm not asking anyone to hate Wajahat. I'm not asking anyone to cancel Wajahat. I'm not asking anyone to cancel. All I'm asking is give everyone the opportunity to say their piece. And then you be the judge. But the fact that you cut people out is only isolating you and your opinion. It's not making it any easier for everyone to get along. So, yes, do I disagree with Malcolm on many things? I do, but I don't let it come in between us. For someone that comes from the Middle East and have seen conflict since I have been born, I hold the big importance for listening to all sides. I think diplomacy is a dying art that we need to learn. And diplomacy is something that you don't apply only on foreign relations. You apply it in in your everyday life. So take a minute, breathe, understand that you don't have to agree with all sides in order to support them. You also cannot deny that the knowledge and the skills and the history that Malcolm has gone through and Jacob is invaluable. How do you want to get an insight into the intelligence agency mindset without having to sit down with an intelligence agent? How do you want to understand how the Israeli government operates if you don't want to sit down with someone that worked for the Israeli government? You need to sit down with someone that worked with the Israeli government, that's criticizing the Israeli government, that doesn't agree with everything with the Israeli government, but still sympathizes with them so you can understand what the Israeli government says. So just think about it strategically. Without Malcolm Nance, would you have you known a lot of the shit that's happening in the Strait of Hormuz militarily? No, you can't. You can't. Like, people still have their own biases. People still have their own opinions. They're still human. They're going to make mistakes. But we should like each other for the fact that we're not perfect. On the other hand, there's a more important story I want to talk about. Appreciate everyone's birthday wishes. Again, that means a lot to me. And I'll have a link here. I'll have a thread. Ask your questions here, please. Regarding, there is a new book coming out for everyone. I want you to know about it. The book is called Regime Change Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump. For the longest time, the White House has played a prestigious hegemonic part in American policymaking, especially when it comes to foreign policy and especially when it comes to um, diplomacy. And the Situation Room in the White House plays an important, essential role in our government history, right? Where we saw Obama sitting in that Situation Room watching the decapitation of Osama bin Laden. George Bush and previous leaders all sat in that room directing wars and special operations in order to protect the United States of America. Unfortunately, that office, that Situation Room, was demonized and disrespected by the Trump administration to the point where this Situation Room became the place where they discuss the Jeffrey Epstein files, not to expose it, but to protect Donald Trump. Make sure to go and buy the book before it gets published. The Epstein file Situation Room. Drawing from an expert of the book Regime Change. That's not why I'm here. Here you go. The key participant in this discussion was J.D. Vance, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche were among those involved. The proposed strategy by Vance, he suggested that an administration releases all the Epstein files and propose having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell, the infamous Jeffrey Epstein conspirator that helped human traffic all the girls uh, to Jeffrey. She's in prison, and yet Vance was hoping to send Tucker Carlson to interview Maxwell to have her clear Trump of any wrongdoing. Todd Blanche suggested asking federal judges to unseal grand jury testimony, banking on the prediction that they would refuse, which would allow the administration to shift blame to the judiciary. The report highlights a volatile confrontation between FBI Deputy Director Dan uh, Bondino. Is that how you pronounce his name? Bondino, and the White House staff. When Bondino eventually resigned after clashing over the administration handling of the Epstein file. So Dan was in the Situation Room, and Susie Wiles essentially goes, Bongino. Thank you, Bongino. So Bongino was in the Situation Room, and Susie Wiles came out to him and says, "Are you with us or not?" He says, "No." And she's like, "Well, we're gonna do this. You're either in or out." He goes, "I'm out." So there's nothing that Trump, there's nothing while Trump managed to influence many institutions, but he cannot escape the Epstein files issue, disappear, leaving him frustrated with the influential supporters like Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson, who were demanding transparency over the Epstein files. Bongino, you think he'd be a little bit more outspoken, especially that he has been one of the biggest people that I want to expose the Epstein files. We're not going to hide anyone. Trump ran on the Me Too movement. A lot of people in the United States understand and believe and know that human trafficking is real. A lot of Republicans are sick and tired of watching human trafficking happen. Believe it or not, Kansas City is a hub for human trafficking in the United States. It is where the United States it's the center of the US where every highway meet. And these boys and girls, young women, get kidnapped, get thrown into vans and trucks, and our kids and daughters get disappeared. And you go to a Walmart and you see the wall, kids missing, someone is missing. What do you think is happening to these people? Some of them is running away, some of them, what do you think happened? So denying human trafficking or denying Pizzagate exists only makes these Republicans that voted for Donald Trump thinks that we are part in on it. That's why they voted for Trump. So when I say we need to start adapting some of the terminology that they use when we communicate with Republicans, it is exactly to reach that base that wants to put an end to Jeffrey Epstein files and want the files all to come out. You can win that base. You can win that group. Just promise them. Tell them you're against Pizzagate. Tell them you're against human trafficking. Tell them that you are exposing the Jeffrey Epstein files. Vote for me. I'm gonna make sure that the Jeffrey Epstein file comes out. Deep state. Do you know in Arabic now? All of the Arab states use the terminology deep state. Do you know that? Republicans love using the terminology deep state in the United States. Al Jazeera, as a news channel in Arabic, uses the terminology deep state because what it implies is that there is a group of people who are part of the base, they're part of the foundation, they're part of the old class that wants to keep the status quo. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, that's considered deep state. People who are making decisions on behalf of other people behind closed doors without checks and balances. Definition of deep state in Arabic for us, not in English. So, if you are going to be talking to your fellow citizens who are not the liberals or Democrats, start using the techniques that missionaries use, people of faith use. They start adapting terminologies. Prophet Muhammad, I'm not a practicing Muslim. Prophet Muhammad said, speak a language someone understand, you speak to their mind, meaning not their native tongue. You speak to someone's native tongue, you speak directly to their heart. So Prophet Muhammad, when he had people visiting him from other regions or other countries, and he could speak their native tongue and their own accent respectfully without being any disrespectful, he would do it because it would reach the message across. In Arabic, for us, perfecting someone else's dialect and speaking it with respect is showing respect. It's showing respect. You're showing that you took the time to learn the language. You took the time to understand the nuances. You took the time to understand what makes things funny for the people that come from that language. You understood the culture that brings everything together. That's the native tongue. That's not just the language you speak in. Everything that's involved in that language goes into it. So, why do we allow all the advertisements to use all the languages that hit us and makes us feel all different types of ways? But when it comes to delivering a message to win people over, we think we need to beat them instead of win them over. That way you're not looking at the other side as a potential ally. You're looking them directly as an enemy, as someone that you need to eliminate. That way you never end up with a win-win solution. You end up with a win-lose solution. So the solutions that you think for is, how do I eliminate the other side? You need the other side. We liberals living in modern cities, love our technology, love being in the middle. By the way, we're dependent on motherfuckers living in the middle of nowhere making us food. There needs to be a balance, but also people who do not represent the majority of the population and considered to be a minority living in the middle of nowhere shouldn't be dictating all the laws and regulations of the rest of the country. Balance, yin and yang. You need to have both. You need to have both. Just like the liberals and the conservative are both dependent on cheap labor from South America and Mexico and immigrant work. You have atmosphere you got to work with. You have an environment. When you go to the wild, you take one thing out, the whole wild falls apart. You need the full you need the full spectrum of society. But what I'm trying to tell you is that our American people feel betrayed. Our White House have degraded the Situation Room, the room that's used to take out dictators, take out head of terrorist organizations, now being used to figure out how to protect Trump from the Epstein files. Good job. Oh, and everyone in the room knew that Trump's name was in the files. Everyone in the room was trying to get Maxwell to testify, not to bring in evidence, but to make sure that Trump comes out innocent. What? What are you here? It is your birthday. It is my birthday and you're my community. It is my birthday and you are my community. You guys bring me a lot of joy. I don't know if you know that. And but without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Without your support, I wouldn't be talking to you. And without having people that are interested in learning about all of these things, we wouldn't be making a difference. I reached out to my friend Justice Gatson this morning. She's a grassroots organizer and the founder and director of Real Justice Network. She's my mentor, and she is the organizer that taught me all the basics that I know. So I figured if I would bring you someone to teach you about grassroots organizing basics, it would be her. So I did reach out to her and I did talk to check in with her. Her husband is currently very, very sick and is being treated for kidney failure. And given that he's a black man in American health system, you understand that he's not getting all the resources and support that he needs. And, he's also one of my role models. These people are some of the most resilient, ethical people I've ever met that have been fighting for justice since day one. But yeah, I figured if anyone would do good education about grassroots organizing, it would be Justice. Even if she would like to charge money for that for her time, I'm willing to pay for her time to come and do that. She is a professional trainer. I've done training. I've trained the ACLU with her on doing voter education, active organizing. But yeah, we'll see when we can get her over, and I'm waiting to hear back from her. But I'm also trying to give her a lot of grace and give her a lot of space, especially that she has a very sick husband. Thank you so much for all of your wishes. The name of the book, my friend, is called Regime Change Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump. Regime Change Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump. My first job my first job as a grassroots organizer was raising money for the ACLU. Raise money for the ACLU, uh, the Southern Poverty Law Center, Doctors Without Borders. Those are the three main organizations I started fundraising for when I started becoming grassroots organizer. And it was basically being a canvasser out in the streets, talking to people about what they do and why they do it, and convincing them to becoming, subscribers. And then after that, I became a canvasser with Jobs with Justice, one of the biggest nonprofits that organizes leaders that organizes the community. So we worked on organizing community leaders or union leaders on organizing their unions and organizing their communities to rally around raising the minimum wage and and fight against the right to work, which is a bill that intends to bankrupt um unions and make it impossible for people to unionize and other stuff. I love how like they try to change names like that. And who's the author? Maggie Haberman, Jonathan Swan, and another person. No, those two. Maggie Haberman, and Jonathan Swan. What keeps me steady? You guys are part of the group that makes me steady. The work that I do keeps me steady. Um, I have a mission. I have a purpose. I want to decriminalize the LGBT community in the Middle East is one of my life goals. I started my nonprofit a few months ago, but I haven't been able to get to anything to it yet. And part of my nonprofit, I wanted to get to be able to collect. I want to create essentially two things. I want to create a WikiLeaks for people anywhere in the world to be able to report human rights violations, regardless of where you are, anywhere you are. Want to create like a safe platform where people can go and just report the human rights violations. And I want my second thing is that I want some way to have a constant way to analyze them and make it be able to be used for international courts and so on and so forth to help people start collecting these evidence and be used to apply for any legal purposes. So that's like one of my life dreams to create that platform. But I've been talking to people in Valley. I don't know if you know, but finding people who can do this type of shit are very hard to reach. They're almost like CIA agent. They're like very secretive about their identity. Even Google, when they tried to reach out to people that could do shit like that, they email us like a random email, and if that person wants to respond, they respond, and if they don't want to respond, they don't respond. So it's very interesting. We'll see. It's just one of my other thing is that I want to teach people how to become united rather than divided. I think I've seen enough of how, or I understand. I've seen enough of world conflict, and I grew up in a lot of conflict that, and I've studied it for all of my life. That at this point, I see a rhythm. I see things that cause the conflict, and I see understand like what breaks conflicts and what brings peace and what brings people together. My mom is Syrian. My dad is Saudi. My dad's mother is Egyptian. My dad's grandmother is Turkish. And I come from a family that just happens to be from all over the world and gave me so many different perspectives. Uh, Traveled the world for a lot of my life until I came to the US. And coming to the US was uh, a very big deal because without coming to the US and without becoming an insider into US culture, I would have not been able to bridge, um, the West and the East together. And my mission is to be that ambassador that bridges the West and the East together. How will Section 224 of the 2027 Defense Authorization combine the U.S. and Israeli military will affect us going forward? I actually wrote a very good article about that, Eric. Let me find it for you, and I will also give you an answer. But I feel like my article would do it a better justice on your behalf. Strategic live, live, Iran, the origin of Ayatollah, emergency, the market disconnect, US Iran board, live, live, FC, strategic. Where did it go? Here you go. I found it. I called the article Sovereign Surrender, the erasure of U.S. Israeli military boundaries. And I'm going to put it in the thread. Definitely read that article, and I'll put it in its own thread here in the group chat. But essentially, it does few things. Even though we basically don't have any real checks and balances on Israel at the moment, and Israel as an ally is very difficult to. For some reason, some we still call them an ally. Is very difficult to manage, and the reality is, it would do few things. Well, a few of those things is they would eliminate the checks and balances that the U.S. Congress actually has over our funding for Israel. It would erode our direct funding into the Israeli military and connect the funding of the Israeli military directly to the Pentagon. So we basically would be paying the Israeli military directly out of our own debit card rather than gifting them some money to spend into our military or gifting them weapons to use on Gaza and kill innocent people, for example. Now we would just make that seamless. Your money, my money, your money. Don't ask. You know? Have you ever gone to a bar or have you ever seen a Middle Easterner go to a bar? They're like, you order your drink, you get your drink, you finish. Lady comes to you and goes, "Sir, you owe me $20." He goes, "I owe you, you owe me, same thing." She goes, "No, no, you just drink the drink. You have to pay for it." Like, you and I are friends or not? She's like, "No, you just came in here." That's exactly the same type thing. You'll be spending all of your money on the Israeli military without having any actual legal ability to check on it. It would also take away America's ability to have strategic hits, meaning Israel could be making decisions on attacking enemies on behalf of the United States. What's the point of your sovereignty at this point? The whole idea is that Israel needs the manufacturing industry in the United States, and the United States supposedly need the Israeli technology. What is the Israeli technology that we're talking about? We're talking about AI and quantum computing. What else? What's wrong? Our tech is rebranded as Israeli. The yes, some of our tech is rebranded as Israeli, but we're dependent on technology like Pegasus and other AI tools that Israel still produces, and the U.S. military still buys a lot of its military products from Israel. Israel is a powerhouse when it comes to, you know, developing its technology. And for some of these technologies, we need access to them. That's the excuse that they're using. What keeps you steady? Today, my mom said her best advice was to listen to the birds. I can do that. I love listening to the birds, actually. Taking good walks, connecting with nature, having good music, filling your soul with good food, and the not to forget this amazing community that cares about each other is worthless as not worthless. What is it called? Uh, Priceless. Sorry, it's priceless. Community as is as important as nature, as important as water. The price of it is being annoyed. That's the price you pay for it. But what you get is worth that bother every penny. And you don't know what you have until you lose it, right? Do you have any ideas about the effect of propaganda on the general public and how critical thinking can be promoted regardless of cultural or regional region when objecting reality awareness is becoming taboo in the mainstream messaging? Is becoming taboo is because we for anyone that start asking questions that we don't like, we start putting them into under the cancel culture, whether they're liberal or conservative, regardless of party line. This is exactly what I'm trying to break. You have to understand that the propaganda that's being sent is working. There is a lot of evidence that shows that a lot of people have been, well, not a lot of evidence. There is a conspiracy theory out there. I'm going to say it's a conspiracy theory that Elon Musk was pushing, that he had something to do with affecting the way the votes turned out in favor of Trump. Some say it was propaganda pushing. Others say he had something to do with playing with the machines of voting. And I don't know everything about that. What I'm trying to get across is that the election before that and the one before that, there was Cambridge Analytica. And the Russians, we have enough evidence that the Russians tried to affect the US elections using Facebook, using Twitter, pushing propaganda, and pushing the culture war. So once you start understanding what Western countries or your adversaries are using your own cultural war against you, why should you keep going in it? Once you understand that your enemy is using this as a tool against you, you should take a step back, say, I'm not going to engage in culture war. That pisses me off, but sure, I'm going to ignore the culture war. I'm going to focus on what actually makes America great. Actually, what makes America great: economy, people, unions, education, technology, independence, separation of religion and state, freedom of opinion, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. So there's a lot of evidence that show that our elections is being manipulated using propaganda and using social media. You denying it doesn't help. Admit that the problem is there so we can fix it. By the way, America, why do you think other countries want to influence the United States? If you're considered to be the strongest country in the world and you have a lot of say over the world economy and you have a lot of say about what goes where, you don't think it's in the best interest of these foreign countries to influence your election and try to intervene and make problems here and there? Why not? You're the one paying the price, not me. So, you know, being honest about it, the Saudis undermine the American sovereignty. The UAE undermines the American sovereignty. Israel undermines the American sovereignty. All of these countries spy on each other. When Obama was president, we got caught spying on the German chancellor and so many of our leaders, not our leaders, our ally leaderships. Recent article came out a week ago saying Israel wasn't only spying on our intelligence and leaderships in the United States, they were blackmailing us. Supposedly, that's an ally. So, is our election being manipulated? Are our politicians being manipulated? Sure. Is it the same way Trump is saying? No. You know, for a, for a con man or for a magician, you have to have some base of truth. If you don't have a base of truth, you could be called out right away. So Trump uses arguments that are based on actual issues or facts or something, and then he makes up his own story. And people believe it because the base issue, the base topic was true. And because he's somebody, they think that all of the information he has is true. That's how it works in the public opinion side. You think if I didn't come on Malcolm Now's show, you guys would be following me now? You guys wouldn't be knowing me. Half of you wouldn't be even, three-quarters of you wouldn't be here. It takes someone that says you are somebody and you should trust this person's word for someone to start listening to. That's just how our society and how our, mm, you know, people work and humans work. That you have to, oh, I admit, do someone that I trust says this someone is I can trust. But I'm very grateful for everyone here, though. You guys have been very kind to me and very supportive. And I appreciate all the birthday wishes. But I was just like making a point that without someone saying this is trustworthy, someone saying this person has a certificate, someone saying that whatever this person is saying, he's smart, he's educated, he's doing his homework. So it's like, let's sing happy birthday to you. Thank you. We are your community. Yes, you are. I appreciate you being part of my community. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Regarding the Epstein files, Sarah, can regarding the again, guys, before you click on the link, copy that link and then go to Google and go, is this link safe? You're going to find a NordVPN website. You click on that website and you post that link into the VPN website, and it will tell you if that link is safe to click on or not. I have a lot of cybersecurity issues that I take seriously. I don't click on links. But if you see a link and you want to be safe, you just copy it, take it to NordVPN. Is this link safe? And you post it in there and it'll tell you if this is a hacking link or a regular one. But I appreciate everyone that has been posting those resources regarding the Epstein files. Happy birthday. Thank you. US supplied Israel with white phosphorus. Yes, they have. Lebanon since 2020. The Israelis have been using white phosphorus since I've been born on the Palestinian. Yes, NordVPN is this link safe on Google. You go to Google or whatever search platform, NordVPN, is this link safe? And you'll find the website. I've been having gray hair since I was in first grade every once in a while, so it's okay. Important to me, just about to head out to get some peanuts for the baby. There, bring. Do the Saudis respect international and interracial marriage? Interracial marriage is not an issue that only Americans face. Interracial marriage and ethnic and racism exist in every country, including Saudi Arabia. I was being made fun of in Saudi Arabia all my life for the tone of my skin for being lighter than everyone else. I was called non-Saudi. I was bullied, but that I fought back, and those bullies couldn't withstand a chance. But it is there. It is there. It exists, and but the Saudis also are people who are interested in other cultures. So many of them just so actually, the two things. If a man wants to marry outside of the tribe, he would face some resistance, or like outside of the country or outside of the race. He could face some resistance from his family or tribe. But a woman marrying outside of the country or outside of the, especially those if the Saudis view this country as a third world country, for example, or if a person is black and she's not black, all of that racism starts coming out. All of that ethnic issues starts coming out. I've seen it. I'm not saying that everyone is that way. I'm just saying it exists. It's not the pure race theory is not only connected to white people. The supreme race is not only connected to white people. There's so many. people out there who are supremacists in their own race. I would be lying if I said so. Same thing when I talked about how people in Arabia were one of the biggest suppliers for slavery for the Indian shipping company for the Brits. Don't you think someone that's going to be kidnapping people and fighting wars and enslaving others not going to have some sort of superiority complex? It exists. It exists. In fact, and until now, when some tribes have to see if the lineage allows this person to marry from that person in Saudi Arabia. Some tribes, not everyone. They have to check lineage compatibility. Is that what they call it? That's race supremacy. Comparative politics is very interesting, isn't it? What is your favorite meal and cake? And are you having that for your birthday? Ooh, I have several favorite cake. I love an actual strawberry shortcake with actual fresh strawberries in there and cream and cake. And I love me a good mousse cake, a good chocolate mousse cake. Mm. And if I'm none of those available, I like a baklava, preferably from the Middle East. But if not, there is one place in the US that I trust my heart with. They're called Shatila. I made my pilgrimage from Manhattan, Kansas to Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, just to go to that bakery in Shatila, Dearborn. And they make the best baklava and they can ship it to your house overnight. It's you pay top dollar, but you're getting the best in the market. So even when I have extra buck to spend and I want to get the baklava that I want, I order it from them. My favorite meal is either salig, which is the west coast of Saudi Arabia meal. It's very close to a risotto, but it's not. You basically pressure cook a chicken or lamb or beef, and then you use half of that stock to cook the rice with half stock, half milk. And that rice is not cooked with just little, just so the rice can become, no, it become like you fill it up until it becomes like a heavy, thick risotto feel to it. A little bit thicker than a risotto, actually, but it's one of my favorite meals. It's my childhood meal. It's called salik. But if I'm being easy and quick and like my fast food, I like my shawarmas. I'm a shawarma aficionado, like a fragrance connoisseur, shawarma connoisseur. Yep. Let's see what other questions you guys are making it easy for me today. By the way, about the merch, about the merch, I have shopping bags that you can reuse. The cloth one. I just drop a whole bunch of different types ones with the Wajeeh Lion podcast. So if you're interested in getting yourself some shopping bags, we have them ready in different sizes for your different uses, and we appreciate your support, the constant support. Hats are also out and about. I know that You guys all like the previous design, but I don't know if I should bring it back and bring a new design out, like a pay for a new design out, or you guys just want the design once and then try to do a new design every time. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about doing another one that is rich versus poor, not the party line type thing. We have reached an hour. Let's see if we have any other questions for today. I mean, I can give you my Venmo or Cash App, or if you have someone is saying, is there a way for us to send you some money so we can all chip in on a birthday treat? That's very kind of you. I am more than happy to share my Venmo or Cash App. I don't know. I'll share both. Why not? And that's very kind of you. You don't have to do that. You just share profile. What happened to my music? Copy that. Eh, I shared my Venmo. Do I need to do the Cash App too? Or just Venmo? Okay. I don't know. Some people need Cash App. Some people need, I don't know. But fact that you want to gift me a birthday gift, I appreciate you. Means a lot. The my code share. And here's the Cash App. All right. I think that's enough for now. Thank you again for everyone. Do I have a playlist? So I have a playlist that I could specifically use for my podcast so I don't get charged or, copyrighted. But then I did share it on the chat. Yes. I don't have a playlist on Apple Music. No. But music is the food of the soul. Other questions. Is the Cash App Apple Pay? Um, You can use your Apple Pay to add or send money on Cash App, yes, according to Google. Did you see that Hunter Biden posted from 3 days ago? What the fuck timeline are we on? Someone's called me the MAGA whisperer, and I'll gladly take the title. Left, right, D or R. We are all want the same thing. We're being divided on purpose by the Epstein elite class because as long as we are at each other's throat, they're, they get fat and get rich off of our. Hmm? The second we fight out, we agree more. They don't love your neighbor. Is that Hunter's message? So basically, if this is what I'm understanding, Hunter is agreeing to what I'm saying. The rich is getting richer by dividing everyone else using the culture war, and we are falling for it. We're canceling our leaders, we're canceling our organizers, we're canceling our strategic members just so we can appease a small group rather than creating a rehabilitation program for these individuals to improve their mistakes and become better people. Um, if you want someone that never committed a mistake in their life to be your leader, then how do you want them to learn from their mistakes? Like, we expect people to make mistakes so they can learn from them, right? There are some heinous mistakes, but our judicial justice system is not even just at the moment. The mistakes that we are like judging people for aren't even like considered legally heinous on a lot of them. We literally canceled Ellen DeGeneres. We could have easily given her a class on how to become a better boss, gave put better checks and balances on her fucking program. Meanwhile, we have uh what's his name? Dr. Phil going with ICE and arresting people. Does it make sense? I haven't seen one single episode Ellen DeGeneres showed didn't do a giveaway or didn't give someone some money to pay their own college tuition or pay. Give me one show that's doing that at the moment. We have people in the White House all on the Epstein list. None of our people on the none of the young generation or the grassroots organizers are on the Epstein list, and we're kicking them out. Can we take a step back and bring those people at least? The ones that are bringing us together, can we bring them back? Can we apologize to them? Thank you for your birthday wishes. The right versus left need to end. We need to unite against the rich. And the rich starting to know. They're buying bunkers. They're hiring right now. They're hiring ex Navy SEAL captains. I don't know what ranks they would be in. They would be hiring them and asking them to help them have an exit plan. They would hire risk managers. They have bunkers that they could live in for years. What about the rest of us? Why do you think they have bunkers? Have you asked yourself? Why are we allowing people to be rich enough to buy social media companies? Since when we should allow that to happen? And then we are surprised that people can buy other humans. You know, you can. You know, the cost of a human life in the United States is less than $4,000, less than $5,000. What I mean by that, studies have shown that you can, unfortunately, hire a gun killer or a hitman for less than $5,000. That's the cost of a human life in the U.S. at the moment. That's how much you're worth. You're worth less than $5,000 to the rich. They have these super PACs. They get to blackmail all of our representatives and senators. We need to do something about that. We all need to say enough is enough. I think and I believe that all of these billionaires need to be paying enough taxes to be millionaires. No one should be billionaire. You are a billionaire, you should be paying taxes to become a millionaire. You can have 999, but you can't have the billion. You shouldn't be having the billion. Those billions need to be divided to everyone else. Everyone, we have enough funds, resources, gold, jewelry, diamonds, and to fill the whole globe, to give everyone some and more. Yet, it's in the hands of the few and everyone else is hungry. Even if you are a gold miner in Africa collecting gold, when you go and sell that gold, you don't sell at market price, you sell it below market price. How am I supposed to get rich, motherfucker? I'm dying in this motherfucking cave collecting gold, and when I come out, I don't even sell it in market value. What the hell you want me to do? Even people that are collecting gold and diamonds, they're not making a living. Oh, يا قلبي يا كتكت يا ما تسمع يا ما تسكت. My dear tiny, tiny heart. So many times you hear shit, so many times you stay quiet. Any other questions, my dear friends and community members? Let's bring this a little closer. I also heard Bernie Sanders make a great argument a few days ago. He said that the AI needs to be owned by the public. It doesn't need to be owned by the private companies. And I agree. AI shouldn't is a tool that's just being created. And because greedy companies are in control, our kids are being abused by it every day. Our kids are being taught how to abuse themselves using AI. They're being told how to have sexual relations with themselves and have violent sexual acts with themselves through AI. I'm surprised people have problem with drag queens but don't have problem with their kids using AI. China has problem with their kids using AI. China. China, their TikTok their kids use, it gives them history lesson and then it gives them an English lesson. And after it gives them the English lesson, it tells them, that's it. You have reached your time of the day. Go do something else. Meanwhile, our kids here in the United States, when they open TikTok, it's showing them the first dance, the third dance, how you should buy this, you should eat that, you should go here, you should do this. Look how I got this new doll, I got this new uh, necklace, and that's all you get on TikTok. We need regulations on AI. We need regulations on technology, and it needs to be owned by the public. because the public is the one that's supposed to make the rules and regulations on it, and it shouldn't be used to make profit for these companies. It should be used for public good. TikTok is a waste of time in the US and in the Middle East. I was watching the reason I learned about TikTok for Chinese kids is because I was watching a documentary, a Saudi documentary complaining about how the TikTok in Arabic targeting our kids in Arab world, and how it's abusing them with just the information I shared with you, giving them dance videos, telling them to buy this and that, and telling them how to make their body looks cuter. All the things that make our kids insecure and our adults insecure is being pushed on our TikTok. But their kids in China with their TikTok are being taught history lessons. And then they are limited to 30 minutes on that TikTok app. The app bans them from continuing to use it. Tell them, go be a human, go do something else, go do your homework, go do your playtime. You shouldn't be on your phone as a child all day long. And the fucked up thing is that, like, when you're a parent and your kid is on the phone all day, you're thinking, "Oh, my child is doing amazing. He's texting with his friends, or he's doing his homework, or he's responding to an email, or he's playing video games. He's talking to a goddamn AI about how to have sexual relations or how to commit suicide." It's happening. It's happening at the moment. There's lawsuits. And the AI that we have, especially the companion AI, they all push for sexual intimacy, even if you push back and you don't want sexual intimacy. That's not safe for our kids. That's not safe for the kids. That's not okay. We need to pass laws and regulations protecting. And I'm not a parent. I have two cats though. I love them. Someone just gave me $25. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'll be donating now. Giving me gifts. You don't have to do that. Let's see if there are any influence have no credibility nor experience. Well, they're influencers. It's not safe for anyone. No. There is a class action lawsuit against Instagram because Instagram was proven that its data is designed literally to make you feel bad about yourself. And that's why you keep scrolling, looking at other people looking happy. There's a whole study and there's a whole class action lawsuit that you can join. And the whole suit is about how the Instagram algorithm is designed specifically to make you feel bad about yourself. And you keep looking for people that are happy. And you're like, why am I not that happy? They look way happier than I am. You don't know if they're happy or not. They just look happy in front of you. I'm gonna look one more time for questions. You guys, uh, is there a topic that you need to learn about? I'm really interested to figure out what is the next research paper I should do on. And I want to do it on a topic that you guys don't know much about. I was thinking maybe to do something about Orientalism by Edward Said and give you guys some explanation about why we make so many wrong decisions and decision making in the West regarding the Middle East. That was one research paper I was thinking about doing. But if you think of a topic that you really don't know much about, would you just message me with that topic and I would that kind of gives me a gauge, or sometimes it does give me good ideas. But the one I have currently is on Orientalism, and if you don't know about Orientalism, then this might be the actual thing that I should be writing about. Um, you wish if I could talk about my lineage to the Prophet? Well, I'm a direct descendant of the Prophet. 43 or 44 grandpas ago, Prophet Muhammad was my grandpa. He had two grandkids, Hassan and Hussein. I'm from the lineage of Al Hussein. Al Hussein was killed in a battle in Iraq, and I was uh, my great grandpa was the founder of the Holy Library in the second holiest mosque. He was like a scholar at the second holiest mosque, and I believe he was an imam as well. So I come from a prestigious family in that regards. We never had any connection to actual political leadership. Most of my family members came from religious lineage. My great grandpa was Sufi, which means like he was the hipster version of Islam. But when the Saudi monarchs came, they enforced the Salafi Wahhabist ideology that would be best described or would be close compared when it comes to Christianity to the Westboro Baptist Church. They believe anyone that doesn't believe in their belief is not a Muslim, even if they believe they are a Muslim. That includes the same thing with the Westboro Baptist Church in Topeka. Anyone that says they're a Christian that doesn't follow their type of Christianity is not a real Christian. So, they got into that point of kicking people out of their own belief. And so when the King Abdulaziz came, he first forced my grandpa to remove to put the shmag instead of the turban. That's the red and white cloth that you see on the head. So he decided to wear the turban and put the cloth on top of it as a protest. But my great grandpa's Sufi, my grandpa's Sufi, and my dad is a Salafi, Wahhabist. So that gives you a little bit about the religious cleansing that the Saudis have been doing over the last 100 years. And if you've been wondering why Islam has been radicalized to an extreme point, it goes back to the Saudi government taking control over Saudi Arabia. And if you go back to the unification of Arabia, you would read about the hundreds of thousands of people that Saudi Arabia, the Saudi monarchs, have killed, ethnically cleansed Arabia in order to unite it. Anyone that didn't believe in their belief was killed. Um, so, it was a great massacre, and it's been a great pain on the Islamic world and in Islamic history. And that's why you have and you had that extremist ideology that eliminated a lot of them, but that all went on testosterone, or if you want to say it went on steroids, as soon as the United States started fighting the USSR and the USSR came inside Afghanistan. The United States then went to Saudi Arabia and said, could you convince the Muslim world to go and fight the Russians and Afghanistan, because they feared the domino theory to happen? The Saudis said, that's fine, just allow us to send our preachers across Western countries in the world. And the United States didn't know the what actually that meant, because Saudi Arabia at that point was trying to convince the rest of the Islamic world that anything they believed in is wrong and their only version of the Islamic ideology is right. So when the United States gave them the green light, the Saudis started sending their scholars all across the world, including the United States. And they came to the United States and Europe and convinced Muslims from all across the world, including Muslim countries and the United States, to go and fight the war in Afghanistan. Now, these people, when they came back, they all got blacklisted instead of being welcomed like heroes. And that isolated them and made them even more extremist. But the fact that we allowed the Saudi government to go ahead and come to these Western countries and build these their mosques and build Islamic schools and convince Muslims that whatever belief they had is wrong and the Saudi Salafist, Wahhabist extremist ideology is the only correct one, you started creating pockets of Islamic extremism without your knowledge inside the U.S. and Europe. You did that, not us. You just didn't know you were doing it. You asked for it, the government, not the people. Did you know that? You probably didn't. So I've met people from Kansas City, and Kansas City has one of the oldest mosques in the United States. I have 11% left on my phone. I'm just giving you a heads up. And that person was blacklisted. He was asked to go and fight the war in Afghanistan. He remembers Saudi public religious figures coming to Kansas City. He remembers U.S. officials being there with them, and now he's banned from getting on any plane. He is a religious extremist, don't take me wrong, but we made that religious extremist. We made that. And if we don't want to admit it, then we're going to keep being blind about it. And if we don't learn from it, we're going to make the same mistake again. So take a minute, look at the history. I should probably write about how we created Al Qaeda and how we asked Saudi Arabia to do that. That's an article I should write about actually. Would be a perfect story for a day like this, or for a time like this, because people need to understand those mistakes, and we need to prevent us from making them again. Do you know if Islamic extremism is not extreme? Is extremism is for fostered in our prison population? Yes. Extremism is not only an Islamic ideology and also in other things. The thing that we need to understand about our prison system is when we send people there, if they're good, they become bad. And if they're bad, they become better at becoming bad. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying that people that we send them to prison are bad people. All I'm saying is that the system that we have designed isn't designed to improve people, it's designed to worsen people. Isn't designed to rehabilitate them and make them better people and send them back to our society. We're spending billions of dollars to private companies so they can hold people. And when we're doing that, we're putting bad people together and they're learning from their each other mistake and perfecting them. They're perfecting them. So instead of making prisons that you collect people at, and you just create a situation where people learn how to abuse the system over and over again, you should create a rehabilitation system. White supremacy for sure. Yeah, extremism spreads. Islamic extremism, joining gangs. Whether you're Hispanic, you join a Hispanic gang. If you're white, you join a white gang. If you're black, you join a black gang. That's how you get protected. Yeah, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about extremism and the prison system, not religion. But extremism exists in all faith. But what I was trying to say is that that extremism went on another level when you do bad decision making. When you, as a policymaker, care only about the containment of the USSR to the point where you don't look at any of the long term uh, effect of your policy decision making, and you go to a country that has eliminated hundreds of thousands of people, like Saudi Arabia. They literally killed hundreds of thousands of people to unite Arabia under Saudi Arabia. There was literally genocide. No one's talking about it. That genocide happened to make this extremist belief there, and yet we did not understand how extreme that belief is, and we didn't care. And because we didn't care, we literally asked them to embed that extremism not only in the United States, but in other Islamic countries that did not have that extremist ideologies to begin with. So we gave them the green light to push their ideology not only inside our Western countries. I just mentioned Western countries because most of you are from Western countries, but Islamic countries. Islamic countries that had moderate ideologies started adapting a lot of that extremist belief. So that is something I want to write about. I will research it. Maybe I should take a break for today. But I will be looking at the news. I will be giving myself some break. It is my birthday. I appreciate all your birthday wishes. I appreciate all your birthday gift for my Venmo and my Cash App. It means a lot to me. If you haven't become a paid subscriber, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. It helps pays the bill. Do this full time so you don't have to do it full time. We are working on creating a big community that is intended to unite this world rather than divide it. And so far, we're doing amazing. I'm very proud of everyone that I have met here. So many great people that want to make a difference. And it's inspiring, honestly. It's genuinely inspiring, and hopefully we see this continue to grow. Um, Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and share. If you're on YouTube, click that bell icon so you could receive the latest update. Yesterday, when I went live before it was posted on Substack, it was live on YouTube. So I'm gonna try to fix that next time so it'd be live on both, but we'll see how that goes. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.